Sticking with a stock cooler might save money, but is it worth the noise and heat? After all, nobody wants their rig sounding like a jet engine or throttling mid-game. The good news is, you don't need to spend a fortune to keep things chill. That's why today, we are counting down the top 5 best budget CPU coolers. From ultra-affordable picks to high-performance dual towers, there is an option here for everyone. So let's get started. We start our list at number 5 with the ID Cooling SE214XT Plus. If you want maximum airflow on a strict budget, this is exactly where you should look. Here's the thing. It uses a standard single tower design with 4 6mm direct contact copper heat pipes, but what really sets it apart is the fan configuration. You get dual 120mm PWM fans right out of the box. This creates a push-pull setup that drives air through the fins with serious force. That setup delivers 76.16 CFM of airflow and 2.16 millimeters of water of static pressure. Technically, it is rated for a 200-watt TDP. That means it handles mid to high-end CPUs comfortably. In fact, compared to stock coolers, you are looking at massive temperature drops of 20 to 30 degrees Celsius in stress tests. Even during productivity runs like Cinebench, it manages to prevent throttling. Now, you might worry about noise with 2 fans. It ranges from 15.2 to 35.2 decibels. At idle, it is barely a whisper. At full load, you will hear it, but the hydraulic bearings and rubber pads keep it from vibrating or rattling. Those fans are built to last about 40,000 hours too. Compatibility is great as well. It supports modern sockets like Intel LGA 1700 and AMD AM5. Plus, at 150mm tall, it fits almost any mid-tower case without blocking your RAM slots. Just keep in mind that the included thermal paste is average. You might want to buy your own for the best results, but for a dual fan option, this is a fantastic entry point. Moving on to number 4, we have a name that has been synonymous with budget cooling for over a decade, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Black Edition. Here is the thing about this cooler. It takes a classic design and modernizes it completely. You are looking at a sleek, all-black aesthetic with a jet black anodized aluminum top cover that essentially disappears into the background of a dark build. But it is not just about looks. It features a single tower design equipped with 4 copper heat pipes that work in tandem with a direct copper base to pull heat away from the processor instantly. For airflow, it relies on the SickleFlow 120 Edge PWM fan. This isn't your average stock fan. It has a massive speed range, adjusting from a silent 690 RPM all the way up to 2500 RPM when things get hot. Yet, thanks to an optimized blade curve, it stays around 26 decibels. That is quiet enough to be ignored during normal work and remains tolerable even under load. Now, a detail I really appreciate is the thermal paste. They include a tube of CryoFuse, which has a high thermal conductivity of 14 watts per meter Kelvin. It is stable from -50 all the way to 250 degrees Celsius. That high-quality paste, combined with the hardware, leads to impressive results. Users consistently report temperature drops of 10 to 25 degrees Celsius compared to stock solutions. It is capable enough to tame chips like the Ryzen 7 or Intel Core i7, provided you aren't doing extreme overclocking. Installation can be a bit tricky for first-timers, but the redesigned brackets for sockets like LGA 1700 and AM5 are secure once installed. Plus, at 152mm tall, it offers excellent clearance, ensuring you won't block your RAM slots. So, all in all, if you want a proven performer that looks as good as it cools, this is a solid choice. Coming in at number 3 is the Vetroo V5. If you want a cooler that balances serious thermal performance with modern aesthetics, this is the one to watch. Here is the thing that makes it special. While the standard for this category is usually 4 heat pipes, the Vetroo V5 steps it up with 5 direct contact copper heat pipes. That might sound like a small detail, but that 5th pipe significantly improves heat transfer efficiency. It channels heat into a single tower of dense aluminum fins, which is then managed by a high-performance 120mm PWM fan. This fan isn't just for show. It uses a fluid dynamic bearing, or FDB, for smoother operation and is rated for a long lifespan of roughly 50,000 hours. It operates between 800 and 1700 RPM, delivering an impressive 82 CFM of airflow and roughly 2.1 millimeters of water static pressure. All those numbers translate to a rated cooling capacity of 220 watts TDP. In practice, users frequently report temperature drops of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius over stock coolers. It easily keeps demanding processors like the Intel Core i5-13600K or AMD Ryzen 5 series under 70 degrees Celsius during gaming sessions. It can even handle multi-core productivity loads like Cinebench R23 without throttling. Visually, it stands out with addressable RGB lighting that syncs with major ecosystems like Asus Aura MSI Mystic Light, and Gigabyte RGB Fusion. However, at 157 millimeters tall, you need to check your case width. It fits most builds, but it is taller than some competitors. Noise levels range from 18 to 35 decibels, making it audible but not distracting under load. Plus, it supports modern sockets like AM5 and LGA 1700 right out of the box. So, ultimately, it delivers a level of performance that feels much more expensive than it actually is. Taking the runner-up spot at number 2 is the Arctic Freezer 36 ARGB. Now, Arctic has a massive reputation for cooling, but this specific model really pushes the envelope for what you should expect in this tier. Here is the thing that grabs your attention immediately. It comes standard with two 120mm pressure-optimized PWM fans. That means you are getting a push-pull configuration right out of the box without buying extra hardware. These fans utilize fluid dynamic bearings, or FDB, which extends their lifespan to around 50,000 hours while keeping operations smooth. They have a massive control range, spinning anywhere from a barely moving 200 RPM up to a powerful 2000 RPM when you need maximum thermal headroom. But hardware is only half the battle. Arctic includes their premium MX6 thermal compound in the box. This isn't generic paste. It is high-performance stuff that significantly aids heat transfer. Combined with the 4 direct-contact copper heat pipes, this setup is rated for a 200-watt TDP. In real-world scenarios, users consistently see temperature drops of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius compared to stock options. It comfortably keeps hot chips like the Ryzen 7 5800X or Intel Core i5-13600K under 70 degrees Celsius during heavy gaming. And it even handles multi-core workloads in Cinebench R23 without throttling. Visually, it looks fantastic. The fully addressable RGB ring on the fans syncs perfectly with software like ASUS Aura, MSI Mystic Light, or Gigabyte RGB Fusion. Now, regarding noise, Arctic measures it in zones, specifically 0.3 to 0.35 zones. In standard terms, that translates to roughly 18 to 35 decibels. It is whisper quiet at idle and totally manageable under load thanks to rubberized mounts that kill vibration. Just be careful with the height. At roughly 158 millimeters, it is on the taller side. So double-check your case clearance for compatibility with sockets like LGA 1700 or AM5. But for the sheer performance and premium extras included, this is an absolute powerhouse. And finally, sitting comfortably at the number 1 spot, we have the undisputed king of value, the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 SE ARGB. Here is why this cooler has taken the market by storm. While most budget options stick to a single tower, this beast uses a massive dual-tower heatsink design connected by 6 6mm copper heat pipes. But these aren't just standard pipes. They utilize AGHP, or anti-gravity heat pipe technology. This ensures consistent cooling performance regardless of how you orient your PC case, effectively solving a common vertical mounting issue found in cheaper coolers. To move air through those massive towers, it uses two TLC-12 CS 120mm PWM fans. They spin up to 1500 RPM and push 66.17 CFM of airflow. The shocker here is the noise, or rather the lack of it. Even with 2 fans running, the noise level stays at or below 25.6 decibels. That is impressively quiet, thanks largely to the SFDB bearings, which ensure smooth, long-lasting operation. Speaking of performance, this thing is a monster. It is rated for a massive 245 watts TDP. That means it doesn't just handle mid-range chips. It can tame high-performance CPUs like the Intel Core i7-13700K or the Ryzen 7 5800X. Users frequently report temperature drops ranging from 20 to a staggering 40 degrees Celsius compared to stock solutions. In gaming, it keeps those hot chips comfortably under 70 degrees Celsius, and it breezes through Cinebench multi-core loads without throttling. Thermalright also includes their premium TF7 thermal paste, so you get top-tier conductivity right out of the box. Installation is surprisingly straightforward too, thanks to the SS2 mounting system, which provides optimal pressure for sockets like LGA 1700 and AM5. And despite the hefty size, the design leaves room for your RAM modules. Honestly, getting this level of engineering and dual-tower cooling power at this price point feels like a steal. It is, without a doubt, the best budget cooler you can buy today. Thanks for watching. For more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell icon so you never miss a video from Tech Insight.